Hi, this is Osman. I'm an energy healer, yoga and meditation teacher, and an entrepreneur. Be sure to visit my website, yogawellness786.com, where we especially discuss current day trending subjects from the ancient sciences and arts perspective and updated almost daily with what is trending, in the major media platforms. And would be of very great interest and of great help to you, reading contemporary subject matters as opposed to, things that may not necessarily be relevant in your day-to-day life. And also know that our treatment and therapies are all based on natural and holistic approaches, as well as from an ancient sciences perspective, and not a replacement for medical treatment. If you have any medical condition, please consult a qualified and licensed medical professional in your locality. Okay, so I'd like to answer the question, can yoga help you manipulate the environment? I always like to give a simple answer in the beginning, and not go roundabout to, beat around the bush. The answer is resounding yes. Yes, you can manipulate your environment, and depending on the amount of power and your advancement of yoga practice. And when I say yoga practice, I mean holistically all the aspects of yoga, including breath work and meditation and diet and ethical teachings and mindset and honesty and values and helpfulness and social responsibility. It all covers the ambit of yoga. So the practical way that can immediately, that almost everyone got access to, is in the subtle changes that you cannot see with a naked eye, but you can experience, from the benefits that you get. So within a very short space of time of regularly practicing, from as little as 5 minutes per day. So be sure to visit my website, yogawellness786.com, and download the free 5-minute yoga and meditation program that you can practice from your bed, on a daily basis, and bring about this balance in your energies. When you bring about balance in your energy system, it balances, your energy is also referred to as your aura, right? So when I'm talking balancing your energy, I'm not talking about your physical energy from the mitochondria processes within the cells and the metabolism process, release of energy from using oxygen and so forth in your physiology and metabolism. I'm referring to the subtle life force energy, which is the part of quantum physics science, right? Which is part of your construct of who you are, right? And which is controlling your physical nature. This is what is balanced with the yoga sciences, in addition to balancing your mind and awakening the dormant higher intellect and your soul body, or your blissful nature, your which are dormant normally. But it doesn't suddenly snap bang, awaken the higher levels are dormant, but it incrementally starts awakening. You'll find that intuition starts to improve, and what actually happens is your aura starts improving and increasing in diameter or in effectiveness as your practice improves, and the effectiveness and the seriousness of your practice. And you need not go into 10 hours a day of practice, or even 3 hours, just 20 minutes a day from a correct teacher, or as little as 5 minutes a day from a correct system. And if someone approaches me and wants to take this to a more serious level, you need not practice more than 20 minutes a day. I can design a 20-minute program that can powerfully impact your life, right? So your aura improves. I'll give you some examples of how this influences your environment. So in the beginning of November, a friend of mine gave me a gift of a plant, because I newly moved to this apartment that I'm in now, and he gave it as a home warming gift. And it was a fledgling plant, so to speak, and it had barely 3 leaves on it, long leaves, right? And now is 4 months later, right? Just over 4 months later, um, and it's got over 20 leaves. And when he came to visit me, a few weeks later, it already had multiple leaves, more than the original 3 leaves that it came with, right? And he noted that. He said, wow, the plant is growing fast, right? And about a few weeks later, when he arrived, it was starting to look like, unrecognizable from what it was to what it is. And currently, with over 20 long leaves, like a bush of leaves, right? So it's not growing at the normal rate that how that particular species of plants usually grows. It's growing exponentially faster, and it is in such a small original pot. And I'm struggling to find a bigger pot because I'm blind. I'm unable to find nurseries around me, and unable to even find online sources that I could order it. And also, it's difficult for me to go online, being as a blind person, and I'm living alone as well. And I want to get a bigger pot with potting soil to plant it so that it can grow properly. It's a very small micro pot, and hardly any soil in there, and it's growing as though it's got the best fertilizer, and it's growing. So why is that happening? So I'm a person who's practicing energy practice and mindfulness practice and yoga practice, right? Physical yoga practices regularly. My energies are very balanced. It influences the environment around in which I live. So it influence, in my opinion, right? I am convinced that my energy is influencing the energy of the plant and making it absorbing of my energy as well. Being in the presence of my energy, it's my energy being very balanced, and something that I'm working on maintaining the balance. Influencing the balance of the plant's energy is optimizing its own energy. This is how energy healing works. Not only is it optimizing the balance of the energy of something which is inanimate, but also balances the energy of things that are inanimate. So if people visit me in my home, they feel a sense of calm and relax. So of course, some clients of mine come, and the first statement is that my home is not very clean, right? Although I try the best to maintain cleanliness, because I'm blind, I can't see, every corner where dirt is. And they come and they see, things are not as it could be with a person who has got eyesight, right? So of course that clearly shows. And I live alone, and I'm managing everything alone, right? And it's difficult for me to find paid help because I am handicapped. They take advantage of you and stealing things from you, in front of you, because you cannot see, and it's some of the challenges that we live, and we accept, and we find a way in which to progress. But there is that still, despite the environment not being in an idealistic level, although I try to keep it neat and organized, still they feel that sense of calm. They just sit and talk to me for a while. They feel very peaceful and relaxed, just by being. They could have been in a very stressful situation and went through a very difficult day, and just came and sat with me, and within a few minutes start to feel very relaxed and calm just from the environment. And also you find that my being more calm and focused and centered, if something is broken, I try to find a way to have it fixed. So when some people visited me and says there's only one light working, I don't of course need light because I cannot see, and I don't switch on my lights as well, of course, to save a lot of electricity. But when people come, I know they're not going to be sitting in the dark with me. They need a light, so I switch the lights on when visitors come. And so they say, no, only one light. There's the rest of the place is in darkness, and it's not. Then I contact someone to have everything balanced, right? If a table is rickety and this thing, I try to get the hardware or someone to come and fix it so that it's more stable. So you when your mind is balanced, you tend to want to have balance in your environment. If something is wrong, you fix it, because your mind is not completely on your problems and stresses, that you got no time to think about a shaky table or a shaky stool that's there that needs fixing, or a glass that's getting cracked that you need to quickly put some tape over it before it worsens until you can afford to buy a replacement glass, you know and so forth. So it impacts your environment in that way, not in a magical Harry Potter way, but in this sense, right? And also, you tend to handle things with more dexterity and with more care, and you tend not to just easily drop things and break things, and you tend to want to keep things in an organized manner as well, keep everything in its place, because your environment is a reflection of how your mind is. If your mind is all upside down, your environment around you immediately going to be all upside down. If you've got your own room, one with eyesight just needs to visit that room to see the state of your mind, right? Not that if your room is upside down, that your brain is upside down and you are psychotic or you have some psychosis, but you lack discipline and organization, right? If your room is not, neat and organized, right? And it's a weak point. And if you lack discipline and organization, it is difficult, to be successful in living in a world that is based on a systematic method of functionality, right? Systematic means need for organization and discipline, right? As just a viewpoint, I'm not trying to comment on anyone. So can yoga help balance your environment or manipulate your environment? In that sense, yes, right? And from an energetic sense, that which is living improves, the life, and also people around you, even if they were upset. Why does disputes come? Why does discord and disharmony and arguments come about between people? Because someone has got a bad day and they come and they vent their frustration to you and they take the anger out on you and you take the anger out. But if you're more calm and more balanced, without you even saying anything, you're going to influence that person to become calm without you saying anything. They will start to feel more relaxed and calm and create more harmonious relationships and more balance, and improvement in your overall, enjoyment and experience of your world around you immediately and your environment. That you are influencing your environment energetically as well as psychologically. Your aura is influencing people and the people around you and circumstances positively. So yes, yoga does help you manipulate your environment, both animate and inanimate. So be sure to visit my website, yogawellness786.com, and take care of yourself always.